You're listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors Radio, where we turn it upside down and look at the outside from the inside out. It's safe, it's legal, and we're having a blast. So put your shoes on, my friend, because we're going outdoors.
Welcome to Rodney Rogers Outdoors. I am Rodney Rogers. That right there is my partner, Coach He's in Crime.
I am.
Mike, the man himself.
Look at this.
Mike, you are a movie.
I am leading the parade, Rodney.
You need to hold your staff probably a little higher. Okay, that's what I'm talking.
Both pits get equally washed now.
Oh, you can wash
It
the
is
other
a
side.
good day, my friend.
You know what? Sometimes,
It's
Mike,
like,
it's the simple things. Like when you can wash, both
It is
sides.
the little things.
Now you can shave both sides.
It's the little things, and for that, I am appreciative.
Ooh, that is awesome. You can reach us a couple different ways tonight. If you hashtag us at hashtag RROR on the Twitter.
Yeah,
That's what they call it now, on the Twitter.
Twitterize us.
Our lights will flash in the studio, and it'll be like a disco, and Mike will disco dance now that he
Oh,
has.
you beat me to the punch.
Do-doom-doom. I'm not allowed to have those kind of buttons. So you can hashtag us there. You can also call the show with any questions or if we get something wrong, you're more than welcome to correct us. And the fact that we are not
Give out the number.
edited to FCC, we can cuss you out, actually, couldn't we?
Well, you. I'll leave that to you.
But we won't.
262-345-7763. It's at the bottom of the screen there.
Oh, yeah, right there.
As well as the RROD is on there somewhere, I do believe. Maybe not. Yeah.
How close
It's on
am I? Am I good?
You're right on the money.
Right on.
You nailed it.
Oh,
You just
man.
actually just knocked it down. Thank you.
Did it?
very
Oh,
much. Yeah.
wow. Sorry about that. And you can reach us there. This is our 1 hour vacation. We enjoy this. We look for this 1 hour every Tuesday. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, we are live every Tuesday.
That's correct.
Video and audio.
8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You know what? I want to give a shout out to our podcast listeners because we do have a lot of people, and we get a lot of emails saying how they listen to us on the way from some of them, our military guys, God bless you, driving in between, our over-the-road drivers like our buddy Ryan. I mean, we've got an audience, Mike.
Yeah. It is a great way to take something whatever your interest is, a very niche interest, as niche as you want it to be, into
Right.
your pocket, or take it when you're at the gym or at, running or walking or
Yeah.
commuting. I'm a podcast freak.
Me too. I love them now. I've gotten so used to podcasts because you can throw them on your phone and move on down the road.
Well, and you get to listen to what you want to listen to.
That's the key.
You know what I mean? Like I say, if it's knitting, crocheting, fishing, outdoors, hang gliding,
Right.
preaching, I mean, whatever it
Yeah.
is, there's podcasts with experts. Some are great, some are not so great.
Exactly.
And there's a bunch in between,
I
But
got a new one I'm listening to.
what?
Fly fishing podcast.
Really?
Yeah. And you know why, Mike?
Because you want to fly fish?
I am now becoming a fly fisherman.
Have you ever fly fished?
I flew fish.
You flew? There's got to be a term.
There's got to be a past tense for fly. If you used to fly fish, is that called?
I flew fished.
I flew fished years ago. I used to fly fish when I was in high school, and when I did it, I mean, we didn't know we didn't know how elegant it was. I mean, this is not the river runs through it. This is more like the creek in Haines City. You know what I'm saying? We're just, and I would catch brim. I've never caught anything bigger than a brim.
The river doesn't run through Haines City.
No, the river does not run through Haines City. It's a muddy creek at best, with a few diapers in it, I'm thinking.
Oh, that's funny.
So, and I talked to my buddy who just absolutely loves fly fishing, and I said, dude, I want to get in it, and I want in the upper end of it. I don't want to buy a cheap fly rod. So, man, he hooked us up, brother. And, I mean, he hooked us up with what's called a Sage.
Well, first of all, hold it up. Hold it up. That whole thing, because I want people to see. Let me get a wide shot. I actually need to get the wide shot for this.
Can you get the?
There you go.
So it's what's this one?
Oh, yes, this one up here. Camera number one.
And
Camera
then
two.
if somebody messes with you while you're fly fishing,
I'm good, Rodney.
oh
I'm good.
yeah,
I'm in reach.
You said, look, don't mess around. This is thy rod. And
That's impressive enough. I saw that in your truck and thought you were going to play pool.
yeah, I'm a pool shark. So so this is the fly rod. And have you ever seen a reel for fly reels?
Do you have that too?
Dude.
Really?
It's that big.
So are we opening the fly rod tonight, or just?
Yeah, we're going to open.
Okay.
I'm going to open.
Okay. So
yeah.
this is just you're just teasing
yeah.
me.
So this
teasing
is a
me
teaser. So here's our reel. I
up.
don't
Roll
know.
of speaker wire. I've seen that before.
This is so the fish hear you
Okay.
when you do the fish call, which is fish, fish, fishy, fish, fishy. So, and then we'll explain the line. I do know a little bit about fly fishing.
I know nothing except you got a pole and some speaker wire.
So yeah, we'll get into that for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely for sure. So
That's cool.
we're gonna be, and we're gonna be talking about why I'm fly fishing. So I just thought that'd be cool.
That's good.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Spent the weekend in Atlanta. It's show season for,
that's right,
for my
that's
wife.
right. You're back in
We're
business.
back in business. Hot Atlanta, like they say it was indeed.
Can I plug her? Can I plug?
Yeah, plug.
So let's. I mean, Mike does these shows with his wife, and who's a brilliant artist in my book. She's a little hard on herself sometimes, and to me, her artwork, her work is just amazing. Go to NicoleWayne.com and check that out. If you don't do anything, do it for us and just check it out.
Exactly.
You're going to find something you like there. I know I wear some of the stuff that she has, so definitely give it a check out. NicoleWayne.com, and browse through there and let her know that we sent you here.
Christmas is coming.
Because that's right. You got Christmas coming. You got birthdays coming. I know somebody
It
out
is
there.
not too soon to start thinking
No,
about that nonsense.
surely ain't.
It's coming.
So I just wanted to give that plug. So I'm sorry. So you were in Atlanta.
No, and
was it hot?
it was hot, and you shot some guns.
I finally shot my AR-15 for the first time, which I had a blast, man. I'm telling you, I understand.
Oh, this was the first time you.
This is.
Oh, I didn't put that together.
I just bought bullets
Yeah,
for it
I
a
didn't
few
put that
months.
together, that's right.
Not even a month ago. Literally, I've been shopping for bullets, and I'm like, man, that's an expensive thing. And I found bullets where I can get them about 43 cents a piece.
Okay.
So every
you're
shot you fire,
half a buck every time you fire the.
it's
trigger.
$8 a clip.
Okay.
So when you shoot off a clip, you just spent almost $10. So
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
For those of you joining in for the first time or listening, basically this broadcast / podcast, whatever you want to call it, started as a chance for us to get together and talk about our activities on the weekend, because Rodney is a madman on the weekends, and he's out, shooting and hunting and fishing, and me, I actually try to do as little as possible. So we get together on Tuesday nights and compare notes,
right.
which is why you do most of the talking on Tuesday nights.
Is that why it's actually called Rodney Rogers Outdoors?
Yeah.
Because he's the only one.
I'm not even
outdoors.
supposed to be here. Hello. I snuck in the back way, and
Is
you
this
can't
thing
get
on?
rid of me. So, anyways, but yes, your AR-15 for the first time.
So I shot my AR-15 for the first time.
Describe it to me.
So I pull it out of the box, and you know what? I just thought, man, this is going to be exciting. And I'll tell you a couple things. It was a little louder than I expected. I don't know why, because the bullet's so small.
Okay.
I just thought it was going to be, but it was actually kind of loud. Not that I'm afraid. I'm deaf anyway, so loud really doesn't mean anything.
It's relative, I guess.
It's all relative.
If it was loud to you, it was really loud.
and I had earphones in, so but it shot really, really smooth. And I bought a hologram scope for it. Basically, it's just a square dilly bob on there that has a hologram in the center. So
really?
I wanted to set it up, and I got it zeroed in. Zeroed in means I set the scope to where when I shoot, it hits what I shoot at.
So you shoot, adjust.
Exactly.
Takes
You
a
have
few
windage
times.
and elevation,
Okay.
so left or right, up or down, and you just adjust it for that. And and I'm very pleased with it. I can see me shooting this thing a lot.
How many clips did you shoot off?
I shot about 3 clips, I think.
Okay.
I bought 500 rounds.
Okay.
And I shot probably 60, 70 rounds. And there was a lot, once I post, hey, I'm going shooting, the whole family shows
Sure.
up, So, it's
Why
always
wouldn't
good
they?
to see
Yeah.
the family. And then, guns pull out everywhere. And we just lay the bullets out and say, hey, do you want to shoot this? Do you want to shoot this? Let's shoot this, kind of deal.
You know how to have a family gathering, Rodney, that's for sure.
Dude, you've been there during
have
that
been there,
gathering.
yeah.
So, and of course, the police show up right on schedule.
It's not a party without the popo. My wife says that all the time.
Exactly. So, they show up and of course they look at the range again and we go through this every single time. So, and then they want to make sure you're safe is all. They have to.
No, they're there because somebody called, right?
No, exactly. Yeah, someone calls, which there's nobody within a mile or two of the place.
But they're hearing something going. So it's probably somebody doing due diligence. Hey, I hear gunfire. Can you check it out?
Right. If
Cool.
you see
Come on
something,
over.
say something.
Come on over, yeah.
Yeah, we're not mad.
Oh, I thought it was if you see something, eat something.
It's that too. That's what you and I have been doing, actually. Me more so than anybody.
That explains
If I see it,
so much.
the old seafood diet, so they say.
So you're supposed to say something.
Say something,
Got
not
it.
eat something. Yeah, we kind of got that backwards.
I'm going to play that one over in my mind a couple
So,
times.
I got a new concealed weapons holster that I wanted to try out, and then just I got to actually play with the guns this weekend, and that I love doing.
That is a good time. Did you have
Yeah.
any rain or it held off? You were
No,
able to...
the rain. Yeah, the rain held off Saturday the whole day. It actually started late in the afternoon, and I was there all day. I mean, I got there at 10:30 and left at like 5.
So the location of Gary's gun range, it's out a little bit. Is there a time frame that is legal though? I mean, can you shoot at 6 in the morning? Can
Sure.
you shoot at 10 at night?
Yeah,
Without there being any issues?
10 at night would be the issue of safety. They might say, look, let's not do this.
Okay.
Is it legal? Absolutely.
Okay.
There's nothing to stop them. We can do it.
Sure.
But you want to try to be as legal as possible. So I'm gonna talk you into doing a family turkey shoot there this year. So we'll get you involved on that, and we'll talk.
Are there
about it.
rules to that, or you have a winner, or how does that go down?
It's the coolest rules ever. So basically, you set up 10 targets. Everybody brings their shotgun, and if you don't have a shotgun, that's awesome too, because all the shotguns go on a rack. Everybody gets a bullet from what's called the range master, so
Okay.
he issues the bullets. Each person shoots at a target with whatever shotgun they want. They're all up there, so you could pick anybody's shotgun. Each person shoots at the target, and the shotgun, the bird shot has, 500 pellets, and the one closest,
Something's getting shot.
exactly. So you shoot the target,
Something's going
and
down.
the one with the pellet closest to the bullseye wins.
So you'd have to check it after each shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So everybody puts in, $2 or $3. There's 10 targets. Everybody shoots. The closest one wins $30. And that's how the turkey shoot used to be. That's why it was called, because you'd win a turkey or a ham.
That sounds a lot more safe. I thought you just
Yeah.
let a turkey run around the family and
No.
everybody. First person to take it out
It's
gets the giblet.
No giblets. Everybody's not got the giblets this year. So
Do you guys ever fight over the giblets or the? Is it giblets?
yeah, it's giblets.
You ever
Yeah.
have people fight over that?
No, we've never fought over the giblets. Flew fished.
Just checking, Rodney. I'm just
I
checking.
used the flew fished.
Thought you might have fought over the giblets. I don't know.
Do I look like I fight over the giblets?
No.
It looks like I ain't missed a giblet in a while, though, don't I? When I went to the doctor the other day, he said, boy, you ain't missing no giblets, I assure you.
It's just that T-shirt you wear saying "dibs on the giblets." I thought that was what that was.
Dibs on the giblets.
That's something different, I guess. I
That's
don't know.
me.
Yeah.
I'm old Dib Gibbler there. That's my fishing name, Dib Gibbler. I got dibs on the giblet, Mama.
Oh my goodness! Well, we have some good emails tonight, Rodney.
Well, let's get started, Mike. What are we waiting on?
I know,
Without
but
further ado,
Let's do this. I like music, so why not have some
Oh,
music?
we
Let's
love
talk
music.
about some of the top stories real quick. Not a lot going on, Rodney.
not a lot.
Not a lot. We talked briefly last week about blue crab trap closures.
Yes.
They updated that slightly. I want to read this just to touch base. Go ahead.
I saw that. So go ahead and read it. I saw the update, and I knew we'd probably talk about it tonight.
And I'm still so. If it pops to mind, jump in because I'm still not really sure why they posted again. Because the title, the description last week was East Coast Blue Crab Trap Closure start August 10th.
Okay.
This is East Coast Blue Crab Trap Closure start August 20th.
Okay.
It's the same thing except for the date's different. But I think what it is, I think this is last call. But it says starts. But anyways, recreational and commercial blue crab traps must be removed from all state waters, shore to 3 nautical miles, including intercoastal waterways from Georgia, Florida line through the Volusia County prior to August 20th.
Prior to August 20th. Okay.
Must be out.
Must be out.
All waters of the St. John rivers are excluded from this closure.
Okay. So What it means is the season actually closed on the 10th. So after the 10th, you cannot reset your traps. So it's giving you 10 days to completely remove your traps
Yeah,
from the
because
water.
it seemed like last week there was certain areas, a lot of
Yeah,
bylines, and so I thought maybe this was just everything, and it's saying. But this is an opportunity for the FWC to identify and retrieve lost, abandoned blue crab traps from the water,
right.
because people forget about them, they break away, they move. But it's a danger to boaters, it's danger to the wildlife.
Yeah.
Because I never really thought about this, but you're going to get, it's going to fill up with wildlife and crabs, and they're not going to be harvested. So they're going to die useless. Until the trap seasons reopen, blue crabs may be harvested with other gear such as dip nets and fold-up traps. Blue crab harvesters may also use standard blue crab traps during the closure if the traps are attached to a dock or other private property.
Okay. Makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
So there's a reason to live on the water.
Yes, therefore we should live on the water. Yes, I agree.
Lionfish. Update on the lionfish. A total of 9,216 lionfish have been removed
Wow.
from Florida waters.
Wow.
Since the start of May 14th, 68 divers have entered this competition, or this challenge they're calling it. The Lionfish Challenge is remove 50 or more lionfish between May 16th and the end of September. And you can, there's prizes, free tank refills, fishing license, and all kinds of stuff. But most importantly, it's a chance to rid our waters, our glorious waters, of these pesky, invasive species that are.
Yes.
And there's a reason that this is top news time and time again. And every time you go to the FWC website, the banners
It's
are
at the top.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Because these things are bad.
Absolutely.
It's getting out of hand.
You know what? For those of you listening, just look on YouTube of lionfish feeding.
Yeah.
And just look at how they do things, and look at their areas that they're in, and there's no other fish.
Yeah.
It's just lionfish because they're eating everything else.
Yeah, and I guess they're bad. They're worse up in the
Panhandle area.
Exactly right. I like you, Rodney, because you know what's going on.
I can
respect
read
that.
your mind.
Yeah, I
Mike.
respect
That's
that
what
about
it
you.
is.
23 of those qualified for the Panhandle pilot program, which rewards divers for every 100 lionfish removed from Escambia through Franklin counties up in the Panhandle, where lionfish densities tend to be higher. David Garrett is the leader at 1,262 harvest.
Wow.
With us number 2 at 380. Now check that out. There's 9,200 total been removed. 1,200 of them.
One guy.
1,262.
He has
By
more
one-
than 10%.
By one madman on the East Coast. So if you want to know how that's done, and we do,
That is
David Garrett is the man to talk about. Rodney, will you pull up?
I got you.
I want to look at something here, and I need your assistance if you don't mind.
Okay.
You know where I'm headed.
I do.
Since there was not a lot of news, that pretty much concludes our news. But I did want to introduce people to the FWC's web app, or not the web app, but FWC's app. So I've got it here in Rodney's. Let me get rid of my personal messages here before I put this up on screen. This is news to us. But if you go to your App Store, and it's in Android as well. Sorry, Rodney. This is tough to talk and
I see now. You know my
function at the
pain.
same time.
Now you see what I go through. That's when I get to talking and start messing with equipment. I can't do it.
So the app is actually called Fish Hunt Florida. But this is the homepage, Fish Hunt Florida. And I'm going to turn my phone sideways so it fills the screen.
There we go.
Very simple app. But check this out. I'm just go through this real quick.
Absolutely.
Because I'm in love with this app. I don't use it all the time, but it's nice notes in your pocket. Number one, you got licenses. So I've got Mike's fishing license and Kim's fishing license. So you can pull that up and see your information. So if you get pulled over by the popo and you're doing your fishing and whatnot, check. Oh, expiring domains.
Lord knows we got a lot of those.
Got to check on that. A little bit of business, take care of. Purchase a license. recent news, the third one down, is exactly the information I've been reading to you guys. So this is a great way to stay current on
It
closures,
absolutely is.
size limits, anything that's changing, public workshops going on.
And the cool thing about that is you don't have to search the website for it. It's on that app.
Yeah, exactly.
It's right there at your fingertips in just 2 clicks.
Yep, exactly. I'm going to come back in a minute, but I'm going to kill these notifications because it's going to keep popping back up.
You got it.
So a little song and dance, if you don't mind, Rodney, just for a second.
I don't mind, man. I got that.
This
I mean,
is so
you're working
unprofessional.
through this phone. That's just amazing for me to watch. You're just a man.
Okay, so here we go. We're back online.
There we go.
So there's your recent news. Again, this is right from the horse's mouth. You can renew your license. But down at the bottom, toolbox. This is kind of cool. Solar and lunar times. Rodney, what's the advantage of me knowing the solar and lunar times?
Well, this affects the solar and lunar times affects all your seasons. First of all, it's going to give you the 6:55 a.m. to 8:03 p.m. That's going to be your sunrise and your sunsets. All of your hunting seasons are based on sunrises and sunsets.
Okay.
So if you're duck hunting and the sunrise is at 6:55, let's just say you fire off at 6:45, and a game warden happens to drive by your boat and sees you fire.
Right.
You fired off before sunrise.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's no excuse because it's right here on the app.
See, and I would have never thought of that. I thought this had been more of going, oh, well, the fish bite right at sunrise or right at sun.
Yeah, and the sunset is just the thing because it may say you cannot hunt turkeys a half hour before sunset. So you need to be out of your hunting location a half hour before the sun sets.
Okay.
Not for vampires.
Again,
For game wardens.
there's
Ninjas.
And the thing I like, I'm going after the ninjas. There's things I like about this app because I always have it on me with me, always on
Yes.
me, anyways, because of the license information.
That is the key.
So you have all
honestly.
these other tools in here that if you overlook, I guess that last one means you can shoot the moon at 6:49.
Yeah, 6:49.
That's what that one is.
You can shoot a moon. Yes.
And then there's feeding times. Again, Rodney, I need a little bit of explanation because I don't eat this many times during the day, so I'm not really sure.
So the feeding times is basically a lunar chart of what the FWC, the most optimal time that fish and animals will feed.
Okay.
So they'll feed between 6 p.m. and 8:27 p.m. This is most likely the major feeding time for fish, and the minor time is 5:40 to 6:44. So it's this is when they're least likely to fish. And of course, these are the dates and those are the times. And if you scroll down, you'll see the 3 stars.
Oh yeah.
These are going to be your best days according to the lunar phases. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you're a lunar phase fishing person, then you got 9/2 right there. That's probably one of your best days. It's an experience that most people have charted their fishing days and realized that fish feed more on that particular moon phase and that particular time.
It's like Farmer's Almanac information.
exactly
Stuff.
Fisher's Almanac, we'll call it.
Tides, I'll make it a little quicker here, but again, tides, you got all your points where they measure them. You can click on them.
This
Vero Beach.
I use on the map, the app a lot.
Yeah.
And we'll be using it down in the Keys every single day
Yeah.
because it's so shallow down there. You don't want to be caught in the wrong place on the low tide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll end up with your boat for 12 hours on the side.
Well, I never really paid much attention to tides until we started diving the
blue
bridge.
or
The Blue Heron Bridge.
Blue Heron Bridge.
Because
Yeah.
you dive during high tide. But this is a great way to find that information. So you have tide, and of course you have seas. Again, pick your location where you're fishing, and you get all kind of
The whole NOAA, and they pull this from NOAA, the National Weather.
That's like 3,000 years old, isn't it?
What, NOAA? Yeah. Yes.
Different.
Yeah,
NOAA.
different NOAA. Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
Let me back out here
wrong
real quick,
direction.
Rodney. Toolbox, out of toolbox. That's not all. Up left-hand corner, look, more. See
Hamburger.
that? More.
Hey, I'm hanging around you, Mike. You pick up from me, I pick up from you. Let's click on the hamburger, man. That's all I gotta say.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I don't even remember telling you that, but yes, there's your knowledge bit from the camera guy.
We pick up.
Those 3 little lines that you see on every app.
Yes.
That is officially, there was a committee that sat around of internet gurus to find the name of what that's going to be. That is officially known as the hamburger.
And one guy was hungry, and he says, "Hamburger, please."
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Yeah, cheer."
A
No,
bun-
no,
not-
I want a
yeah,
hamburger.
It's
you
just a single hamburger. It's not like a double,
not like a
double
triple.
McCheese or anything
Yeah.
like that. But that is the hamburger. So if people say that, no, click on the thing with the 3 lines. That's the hamburger.
That's
Nicely
it.
done, Rodney. Fish hunt, hunting. So otherwise, hunting, fishing. You have hunting in Florida, and this is just basically takes you to places on their websites, onto their website. But hunting quotas, you can go down here and find all the gator information. There's all your alligator hunt information. It opens up the PDFs on that. You can back up more fishing, saltwater, fresh fishing. So if you're out and you're fishing for black sea bass, simply click on it. It's going to give you your minimum size limits, your daily bag limits for Gulf waters, state
Hey,
waters.
Stay right there for a second. If you
Staying
look
there.
at the Gulf waters limit, which is 10 inches, and then you look at the Atlantic, which is 13 inches, you don't want to be a Gulf water fisherman and then accidentally carry that over like I did one day.
Really?
Yeah, Mike, it was close.
Wow. Really?
It was very close. I pulled in what I thought was some big black sea bass at 12 inches, and we got checked pulling out of the water one day. Yeah, that was a blast.
It's important stuff.
It is important stuff. You have an east and west coast. Don't carry it in your mind over to the other coast.
Yeah,
Make
right.
sure you take a little peek just before you get over there.
So there, I mean, but that's good information. So
Yeah.
and again, sorry to derail on that, but
Dude,
since
you
we could
did
show
awesome.
the app, I there's so much information, and sometimes if you start clicking on little menus,
That's
it's
how you.
it's a perfect app for carrying your fishing license number.
100%.
Period. If that's the only reason to download it,
Oh no,
you
that
got it
yeah.
in your pocket the entire time because you always have your phone with you.
That's exactly right.
But poke around, and you have access to pretty much the entire FWC website there. So,
Instantly, limits, bag limits,
Yeah.
like you just showed, the hunting
Seas,
regulations,
ties,
yeah,
time, shoot the moon, any of that stuff. It's there. Yeah.
shooting the moon, yes, yeah, especially shooting the moon. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Rodney, do you want to do some mail?
I
Because
please,
we've got
Mike,
some
I was
mail.
begging you, please do so.
We get letters, we get stock.
Whoa, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Send me an email with all the details.
Another freaking email. Another freaking email song. Mail time. Mail time.
The mail's here.
Yeah, I'm a top flight. Hold you tight. Get you there by daylight. Do you right overnight mail.
I wish I could play guitar that well.
You just keep doing what you're doing, Rodney. You're doing well at it.
You got it, Mike.
And you are improving on the lip sync.
Am I getting better?
I need to put that on your iPod so you can listen
so
to it
I
while you
can
drive.
just
and
hear it
nail it
every
down.
single day.
Yeah, one night.
What we got, Mike? How we doing?
We have some really good mail tonight, and I'm very involved. I put the basic question on the screen, but let me read the entire mail in its entirety. Joe Samard from St. Cloud, Florida. I think he was my Uber driver today. Joe Samard from St. Cloud, Florida, says, sorry.
If you hate us, you can email us at mike@rodneyrogers.
Joe Samard. I have a lot of old, unused monofilament line on
Yes.
on store-bought spools. Some years old. Does store fishing line lose its quality over time? Let me read the rest of it. A few more questions to tag on. Does it lose its quality over time, Rodney? How long does stored line last? How often should I replace the line on my reels? And what are the rules for braided line? And go.
That's a lot of questions here. So basically, he's asking about fishing line. If you're fishing with monofilament, hopefully you don't have a lot stored. You change that a lot more often. I used to change it about every 2 months because what happens is monofilament has memory. It doesn't degrade as fast while it's on the spool because normally the spool is kept in a cool, dry place, which is usually at home, versus on your reel, which is in the back of your truck. It's getting wet, it's getting rain, it's getting sunlight on it, which the UV is degrading it, so it degrades a lot quicker. So at home, it's going to last a lot longer than on your spool. If you're fishing with monofilament steel, you want to change it. If you fish a lot, you want to change it quite a bit. Now, the way to extend the life of your fishing line is a line conditioner, and there's a couple out there. The reel snot that that I talked about last week, it's REELSNOT. It's like a real snot.
Yes, you did not hear him incorrectly.
That was exactly it. You can go to realsnot.com and look us up and tell them Rodney Rogers Outdoors sent you. We are not sponsored by this. Remember, we use products that work.
Yep.
Another great one is that one.
Coffee breath.
That's the coffee Java. They have the Java Real Snot, but they got one called dude. It's the one I use all the time.
Sorry about the coffee breath. That's
is
what my
like-
wife says. You're a real snot coffee breath.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that one.
I'll settle down.
And then if we go to braided line, that was awesome, by the way. If we go to braided line, it lasts a little longer. Putting line conditioner on does a couple things for you there. If knots get in your braided line, it comes out a lot quicker. And, of course, holds the frays from happening a lot quicker.
Can you feel the difference when you reel?
In the two lines, you can.
Yeah.
You certainly can. Braided line is a lot more sensitive.
Okay.
So, it's a telegraph. I mean, literally a bump. I mean, you can actually feel the fish licking your lure. I mean, that's what I'm talking. And I got that little licking your lure thing from our buddy Hector, by the way.
Oh, really?
He said the other day, he got a new rod, and he said, I can feel the fish licking the lure.
That's actually a good. That's
I
puts in
totally-
perspective.
You
Yeah.
see how quick I stole it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm a
Hector
stealer.
who?
Like, Hector who?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, HP what? Yeah, so yeah, and he's absolutely right. I mean, I've run my lure over, beer cans under the ocean or under the lake, and I can tell you exactly what brand it is.
That's great.
I mean, it's
That's pretty sensitive.
It's sensitive stuff. So I only fish with braided line on all my fishing poles. If I want a monofilament setup, I'll put fluorocarbon on a leader on when I fish saltwater. So it lasts a lot longer. If you fish a lot, change your line out every couple months. If you don't fish very often, change your line every time you go fishing.
Okay.
I know that seems like you're changing the line a lot quicker, but most people that don't fish
Well,
often
get good at it that way.
Yeah, they fish once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Well, that line will have, exorbitant amount of memory. So when you cast, your line's going to look like a pig's tail going all the way down to your lure, and you're not going to be able to feel. It just takes a lot of the energy in your cast out.
Just change it every 6 months, no matter if you fish once
exactly,
or 10 times.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So, change it every time you fish. So if you didn't fish for 3 months and you're going, I'm going fishing today, change your line because you're going to have a ton of, unless you use line conditioner. What that does is it allows your line to relax. It doesn't take any strength.
It really
away
does
from
help. It's not just a gimmick product.
No, it really does help. When I fished monofilament, I was absolutely 100% line conditioner man when they came out with it, because that's all I used to fish with. So, and I always had those curlies, and I fished all the time, and I didn't want to change my line out all the time. So, voila, line conditioner on your monofilament. Spray it on the spool sitting at the house as well.
Okay.
Is that a lot?
If you say so.
Oh, man, I had to breathe there, man.
Here's another one for you. Jose from Decatur, Georgia says, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I use 6-foot medium power rods for my bass fishing.
Mm-hmm.
They are a fast action tip using an eighth
Ounce.
ounce jig. Thank you, Rodney. And use it as a swim bait also. I just bought a new rod that is medium power, but it doesn't say what the action is. The rod tip is stiffer than my other fast rods. My question is this. Could I be using a rod that is too stiff for bass fishing? There's not much of a bend in the rod with the bass on it, but it's very sensitive to the feel of the lure on the bottom. I can tell the brand of the beer when I run. I threw that. Sorry. No. What do you recommend for lightweight jigging and a spin cast reel?
When you're lightweight jigging on a spin cast reel, you want the longer rod. Not many people. The only time I use a 6-foot rod is if I'm in tight conditions and I'm fishing out of a canoe or a kayak or something like that, and I'm real close conditions. My opinion is no less than 7 foot, unless
Oh, really?
you could go 6'6" or 6'9", but I would go no less than 7, preferably a 7.4. If you're using light jigs, you want that fast tip. Remember, you want to be able to whip a light jig out there. you've got to get that long cast on it. So a very light tip because you want that rod to whip it out there. A lot of people think
That bending gives you the whipping
yeah,
action.
you follow through with your rod when actually you stop. So what happens is as your rod goes to bend back, it whips, and then when you stop, that last little whip is
fling.
and that's why some guys cast farther than others because they have the timing of that fishing rod down to a science. So when that whip stops, they let go of their line and it sails way out there.
Perfect. And how do we whip it?
Very good.
We
Whip it good. Exactly. We're on the same page here. See there? I'm on you now, man. Now, another question is, could I be using a rod that's too stiff for bass fishing? And the answer to that is no. Now, you can be using a rod too stiff for light weights, but you can't be using a rod too stiff for bass fishing. Now, I'm going to break that down for you. The stiffer your rod is, the heavier the weight is that you're going to have to use. A stiff rod is primarily used for what's called flipping and pitching, and it's very close quarters, and you use a real heavy weight to allow it to get out there. So the heavier the weight,
the weight's carrying the momentum of the line.
Exactly, and the tip becomes a little faster with a heavier weight.
Okay.
So your rod won't say if it's a medium heavy or medium light, or your rod won't say fast tip or slow tip because it's a medium, which means it's most likely a medium heavy.
Sure.
So take it for what it's worth, but it will have a weight, like it'll say 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce weight.
Sure.
So that means it's pretty much a primarily flipping rod. It's not going to be a very good casting rod if you're trying to cast out crankbaits and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's why now you're starting to see a lot of rod companies go to, this is our jigging rod, this is our spinnerbait rod, this is our worm rod, and they're all specifically designed for a type of bait. Does that make sense?
Totally.
I'm hoping
No, that's good.
I planned that out.
Yeah,
for
he also says at the tail of his email he wanted to know, or he said, I see guys on TV bring a bass to the boat and have so much more bend in the rod. I'm afraid a stiff rod will pull the hook through the fish's lips.
Once that hook's in, it doesn't, at that point, pull is irrelevant. The stiffness of that rod is what puts that hook in the lip.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you use a real flimsy rod, it won't set the hook as hard. I mean, some of my rods, you'd swear you were fishing with an iron broomstick.
Really?
Yeah, so that's key. There again, they have their place. The key is to really know where that place is versus trying to make one rod to do everything.
Yep.
There's just it's really hard to do.
Okay.
So
another question. I have purchased a Shimano Sitka.
Ooh.
I lined it and went to use it, but I'm having lots of trouble, Rodney.
Okay.
It backlashes every time I throw it. I use open face reels such as an Abu Garcia's C Series, but don't know what I'm doing wrong. How do I keep my Shimano from backlashing every time? Help me, Ron.
Help me, Rodney. Help me, Rod. Here's the key. Here's what I would do to get rid of the backlash problem. You have a drag spool. You have a drag, and then you have a spool speed knob on the side of it. It's a small knob. And what it's designed to do is tighten up that spool so when you cast, it doesn't spin as much. The more loose you have it, the more it spins freely.
Okay.
The more, the more tighter you have it, the less it spins. So here's what I want you to do. And I'm going to pull up a picture of it real quick. I've got another.
Of
I'm
what?
I'm gonna pull up a picture of. Let's just do this. Let's pull up the Sitka, the CIT.
Rodney, I've got it on the screen right now,
Oh
Rodney.
my God! Look at that. Okay, so you got the Sitka. This is a super nice reel. I love this reel. I'm gonna buy this reel one day when I grow up to be a big fisherman. So you see where the handle is, and you see that little black knob right behind the handle there.
Yes.
Okay, so what that is that's your spool speed control. That is what stops your backlash.
Okay.
The more you turn it forward toward the front of the reel, the tighter your spool is going to get. So I want you to tighten that all the way down and try to cast your pole. And what happens is that line's not going to go very far, but it's not going to backlash either.
Okay.
So you make one or two casts with it until you get comfortable, and then you loosen that up about one turn. And then you cast again. And then you loosen that up about one turn.
Easy does it.
Yeah, you easy does it until you get used to each one of those. And what it is your thumb is going to take over. Doing that, your thumb is going to get used to this reel, and it's going to take over without you even knowing it.
Really?
Your thumb is going to look at you one day and go, I got this.
I got this.
This is what I do.
Mine.
Let me do this. And then you'll get used to it. Now, for me, I back that thing completely all the way out, and I don't even use it because once you get used to it, your thumb takes over, and it's a lot smoother. So all mine are absolutely free. So when someone says, hey, can I make a cast with your pole? Don't be offended if I say no, because you're going to backlash my pole.
Okay.
Because not many people are used to having that thing completely loose and free spinning. So that's what you use. That is a great reel. Congratulations on that reel. Just run your speed control there. And if you still have a problem, then we'll focus on your line. But right now, let's focus on you getting that thing successfully casting. How'd we do?
Nice job,
We
Rodney.
almost sound like we know what we're talking about.
Well, I know enough to put a picture of a fishing thing up there.
You're one ahead of me, man. Good job. Here, I'm typing it in.
Nice job. And as always,
it's already up there.
time is flying, but
Oh my God. Okay.
there are 5 things
5.
I wanted to talk about tonight.
Yes.
And it can be brief, but I wanted to get it in because it's gonna generate some conversations. But tonight, Rodney, I wanted to know,
listening.
and this actually was a question asked to me, and you know me, when people ask me questions, I go, oh, I don't know. Hang on a second.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. So, Rodney, what are the 5 things
5 things.
that must be in your tackle box?
Okay.
Now, I believe we're talking necessities. We're not talking esoteric. We're not talking
Right.
frivolous. I mean, what things, when you leave your house with your tackle box, what 5 things
Should
better
you have?
be in there?
Okay.
No matter who you are, no matter what kind of fishing you're doing.
Well, I'll tell you
is that a
this.
fair blanket statement?
That's absolutely.
Okay.
Here's what I would have. 5 things that I would personally have. That is in, and I've got several tackle boxes, and in each one of mine, and anybody who knows me knows that I have these inside my tackle box.
Okay, you don't mind if I take notes, do you?
Nope, by all means. Let's take notes.
Okay.
So my first thing in my tackle box is going to be extra fishing line. A lot of people don't think of that, and here's why. There are some cases where I only take one fishing pole. If fish are biting, something happens, I make a backlash where I have to cut my line out, even though I've done it, been fishing for so many years, it's still possible because you get excited, you make that emergency, you catch a fish, you get out there, there's a bigger one, or the fish are feeding, you make a cast, the fish are feeding 2 feet to the right, you hurry up, reel in, you make that next cast, and you backlash your pole. Now, I've had situations where
if you don't have extra fishing line, you're cutting that out.
yeah,
right.
and you're either done fishing, or because you're cutting your line.
Next thing you know, you can only fish 3 feet from the boat.
Exactly right. You're
You're dangling in that last piece trying to catch something.
You're basically what we call nibbling. So I always have an extra spool of line. Another reason is my nephew not too long ago was fishing, and he was fishing monofilament, and I told him that line's going to break. It's those situations like that where you can say, here's this line. In that case, I was out of line, so I had to go buy him line. But now I've got several spools of it. That day actually said I need not be without line again because 90% of the time I have it.
Sure.
And I try to keep it in every tackle box. That day I particularly had one that just didn't have it in there. So that would be my number one thing. My number 2, now remember, if you're fishing, you're going to need lures. Otherwise, you're not fishing. So I would use, if I was going to pick one type of lure, now there's baits and there's lures. A lure is something that you use, you lure the fish to your, your.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous ground here because you say lures and you can have an entire.
Right.
So how do we narrow this answer down?
And that's where I'm going with this. Soft plastic lures. Some
Really?
type of soft plastic lure. Because it is probably, out of all lures, the most versatile. And here's why. With a soft plastic lure, you can run it on top water, you can run it mid-water, you can fish it in the grass, you can fish it in the weeds, and you can fish it at the bottom. So you cover all bases of where fish may be, somewhere in that water table until you find them. So you cannot go wrong with soft plastic lure. So if all you own is some type of soft plastic lure, I think you're ahead of the game already. And most of my friends that are listening to me were like, I just knew he was going to say a Rapala, which
I would have guessed
you
Rapala.
would have guessed.
Sure.
Man, but the Rapala, you can't fish in the grass. You know what I mean? You can't, dump it to the bottom of the
Okay.
lake. It has a limitation, 12 inches underwater.
Okay.
So if you're fishing 30 feet of water, you're not catching fish. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay. And with that, you're going to need hooks. I mean, obviously, you can't have tackle without hooks. So, out of my 5 things, so we're at extra line, soft baits, and of course, hooks.
So where's all like the LED lights and
That's next.
okay.
That's in the not so needed category.
Okay. So these are definitely basics. You're not doing really
Yeah, this is just stuff that
okay.
that are absolutely top 5 things that
Now,
you're
how many lures? Because let's back up to number
Okay.
2. Because you're going to. Chances are you're going to lose a lure. You put it
Yep.
in a tree. You yank it on some. So how many?
well for
5.
Yeah, a bag of lures. I mean,
I'm
a
not
bag
trying to put a number on it.
No,
but I'm
no,
just trying
bag
to
of
say-
worms.
Bag of
I mean,
worms.
if you
Okay.
just got a bag of worms, you're in good shape.
Okay.
Now, if you look in my bag, I've got 50 to 80 bags plus. I can't even tell you. I'd be afraid to say I even had that many. I mean, there's a lot.
I don't want you to plan or do anything differently, but next week would you drag your box in here?
Absolutely.
And we'll
Yeah.
we'll rifle through it.
I'll bring them all,
Yeah.
and we'll
It
baffle
can't
the
be any
mind.
dangerous than just getting into your truck.
I have left my house with nothing but a fishing pole, and went.
Maybe that's why this should be the top 5 things that I'll find in Rodney's truck as soon as I sit down.
Everybody hates getting in my truck because they know when they close my door, they're gonna
Well,
probably get a
I'm
hook
used
in
to the
there.
one Rapala in the door handle.
Right.
But there's like 3 in there tonight.
But yeah,
You
I
stepped it up a game.
got to keep the passenger on
Rodney
their
says.
toes.
Rodney says, "Oh, is that why you said ouch?" Yeah.
I said,
Yeah,
well, I heard
yeah,
you get in and go,
that's-
ouch.
Yeah.
I
That's
thought,
why
at
I said
first I
ouch.
thought your shoulder, and then I thought, wait a minute, he didn't really lift his shoulder. So, and then I seen you messing with the door jam, and I went, oh,
Yeah,
is that why you said
'cause-
ouch?
Long story short, Tuesday we spent some time together, and Rodney actually picks me up at the end of town. We ride back
Yeah,
together.
exactly.
So he picks me up, and it's raining out, and
I was in
He's
my phone, and I hear a knock on the window.
rain.
And I look up, and it's just absolutely pouring outside. You got
Oh.
water dripping off your nose, and I'm going,
Oh,
he's
yeah, let me let
probably
Mike
going to
in.
one in.
And so he finally opens up the door, and it's like, ouch.
And then I hook you right off the bat.
So am I wrong in thinking that a first aid kit might be in here somewhere?
Mike, it just so happens that is at the top. That is
Oh,
my-
that-
that
really?
is actually my number 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Nope,
Rodney.
there's nothing to be wrong.
Rodney.
That's we got the hooks. So, oh no, well, weights was the next one. Was
Weights,
number
okay.
4. So, of course, weights, because if you're fishing the top, even if it doesn't matter if you're fishing with a hard bait, you can actually, in your hard bait floats at the top, you throw a weight on, you can get that thing down to the bottom. You know what I mean? You can
Sure.
put 2 or 3 weights on. You do what you have to do out there. I've tied rocks on my line to get them down and caught. I've only been fishing with one rubber worm and have it doing so good that they bite half the worm off right at the hook that I shoved a feather in my worm.
Okay.
I found a bird feather that was a white bird feather that was beside me, and that's all I had. I'm a half a mile away from my truck.
Was that a brilliant move?
Oh man, I caught so many fish.
Yeah, I would think
mean,
that would
it
be
was
a-
just when they're feeding, man, all you got to have is something that looks like. So what I did was I broke it. I kept breaking the
Oh,
feather,
sure.
and
Yeah.
I kept working it to where it was nimble, and I'd throw that worm out there and just reel it, and that
that's-
feather would just flop.
that's fun.
And then, man, I was game on.
That's fun.
So you've got to be able to
Yeah.
improvise when you're out there.
Yep.
So yeah, weights, and then of course, on if I had to pick my top 5, first aid kit is definitely always in there.
Okay, well, we have a few more minutes, so let's do this.
Okay.
So we've got extra fishing line. We've got lures, soft plastic, hooks, weights, and first aid kit.
Yes.
So in my mind, there's a few things that I thought you would say that you didn't.
Okay.
So
Ah.
let's open this up to 10,
Okay.
okay? So there's your top 5. Let's go ahead and fill in 6 through 10. And I'm just I'm hoping that the lottery ticket that I picked is in there somewhere.
Okay.
Because I don't want to tell you what it is, because I'm hoping that it's one of Rodney's.
Okay. Well, a couple things. A knife. Let's go, first aid, we got to throw a knife in there.
Okay.
Because you want to be able to. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you did get knife. So we got to be able to cut the line. If you're fishing with braided line, you're going to need to cut your lure off at some point. Okay. Let's say we're catching snakeheads. You're going to want a pair of pliers. I mean, I think pliers you got that one. Okay.
Pliers.
Pliers. So where we at? Okay, so we got knives. We got pliers. You can now. Some people are not. They're little handsy kind of deals. So they. Some people have. I don't have them. I have them in my tackle box only because I am a diver, and when I'm diving, I'm usually fishing at the same time. So I have rubber gloves in my thing.
Ah, dang.
Okay, so you don't have that one,
Rubber
or I don't
gloves.
have that one.
Rubber gloves, number 8.
Rubber
I
gloves.
suppose there's a reason.
Yeah, there's a couple things.
More so, though, than the grippy, you don't want to touch that fish, so grab the lip thingy?
Well, I just bought a pair of those when I went snakehead fishing. Those little grippers.
Because you didn't know what oh, yeah,
Because of the teeth.
I would want the grippers.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because, I've never owned a pair. This is actually the first pair I ever bought. I bought them at Bass Pro Shop. So, I bought those grippers for that. Now, I won't grip a redfish or a snook or anything with that. I see guides do it all the time. It's just not my thing. I just think hands-on.
I like that.
Nice and simple, and let him go.
Okay.
Where are we at? Number 7? Okay, now we're on number 8.
No, 8 was rubber gloves.
Oh, 8 was
knives,
rubber
pliers, rubber gloves.
Knives, pliers, rubber gloves. Top in my tackle box. I'm trying to think. Mosquito repellent is definitely okay. You got that
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Okay. Because and this one is like when you're fishing in the Everglades. You know how many mosquitoes are down there, Mike.
I don't go anywhere with Rodney without repellent.
we have hit walls.
There's
of
nothing.
mosquitoes.
It ruins my night.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but there's not much worth it to me than just sitting out there getting eaten.
Right.
Because it's miserable.
It's horrible.
I mean, I've seen you
you're
covered.
done.
I don't know the worst time when we were down in the Everglades.
Everglades, yep.
And when I shoot video, I would kind of have to become a statue sometimes. But they were tearing me.
They were horrible.
Up.
Yes. And I had a mosquito suit. That's why I was able to sleep outside.
That's enough about.
So
enough about me.
Okay.
So we're down to.
And for me, and this is strictly for me, and I'm sure. I mean, feel free to email us what's in yours. But for me, it's sunblock, and the reason is I don't have hair. Okay, you got some. Okay.
I'm a redhead.
You're a redhead, and I'm technically a burgundy head if I have hair. I mean, you can tell my beard sometimes I have a red beard. But with no hair, you kind of get you gotta keep that on top of the schnoggin.
It's been no matter where you live, but especially here in Florida in these sunny states, it's
absolutely.
I suppose I went through my teenage years where that was a big important thing to me, but it's not. It's not worth it.
We that's why all of my shirts are long sleeves, that kind of thing, and it's just kind of
okay. So the top 10 things that Rodney has. Let me read these off.
Hit them off, man.
I'm going to start backwards now. Start from the 10. We got sunscreen, mosquito repellent, rubber gloves, pliers, and a knife. And then for the top 5, we have extra fishing line, lures, soft plastic, hooks, weights, a first aid kit.
That's it. Yeah.
And everyone knows if you spent any time with Rodney, first aid kit.
It's imperative.
It's critical.
It is. It's
critical.
Probably saved my life at point, Because
if Rodney's going to pick you up from work, a first aid kit is critical.
It's crucial. It is. It is. You know what's funny is my daughter brings her dog over, and I hear him yelping one day. It's just like, Daddy, he's got a hook in him. And I'm like, my dog knows to stay away from these hooks. My house is full. I moved from a 5,000 square foot house to a condo. You ever done that being an outdoor guy? I got paddle boards in my living room.
Where do you put it all?
Exactly. You just stack
You
it
do
up.
have. You know what's funny is you did that.
I've
You
got
did that video.
the cooking video.
I'm
and
like, what's that behind him?
you can see
And it's his
the
paddleboard. in his living
paddleboard
room.
right behind me. So I got to start looking for a house. That's
I
key.
find some charm in that, Rodney.
I'd say-
Just you being you. I wouldn't want it any
and that
other
is
way.
totally me. I don't. When people come over, I don't even apologize for the mess.
And you shouldn't.
There's no. Oh,
They
this
don't
was
like it. They
clean
know
a
where the
day ago."
door is
No,
at.
It was not clean a day ago. There's fishing gear here.
Yeah, you
my
say
tackle boxes
take
are-
another step. It only gets worse.
Exactly.
If you don't like it when you step in the door,
Yeah.
you might want to turn
Don't
around.
go around that corner because there's fishing gear
Definitely
everywhere.
don't open that door.
Exactly. And it's just it's an outdoor house. I mean, it's not like there's dog crap on. But
No,
you know
no,
what
no.
I'm saying? It's
No.
just my stuff is everywhere because it's just how it's got to be. Unfortunately.
You get a bigger place, you're gonna get.
Yeah, the bigger place is gonna pan out for me.
Randy says, Rodney is the reason we all have first aid kits.
He knows. Actually, so yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, when we went to the island, camping just on a whim, I put a gash in my thumb. I thought I cut my thumb off though. And I put the whammy on it. They kept wanting me to take me back into town to go to the hospital. And I said, somebody bring me a first aid kit. And luckily, Randy had his with us. So, first aid kit is imperative.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what you can get away with.
Rod and I enjoy this hour of hanging out.
Oh,
Life
my
is
God.
good,
It is, Mike.
and it's nice once a week to just
take a deep
breathe.
breath. This is our vacation. We've been saying it for almost 3 years now. So,
Things are starting to get busy again, but I don't want to overlook the people in our lives. We got some
Absolutely.
some good people in our lives,
and Mike, I just want to give a shout out to. We are going to Arkansas in a week or so, or 2.5 weeks. We are literally going to be flying to a squirrel cook-off. If there's ever been such a thing up there with Joe Wilson that was on our show, I'm going to repost his show.
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you seen, I reposted I brought the Fired Up Charters,
Yeah.
back up. So we're going to repost the Joe Wilson show.
Is it September 10th? Is that the
September
date, maybe?
10th is when we're flying out.
Well,
yeah.
that's
the
that's
show.
That's the
we're flying out
cook-off.
the 9th. The night of the 9th.
Yeah, so if you're around that week and you want to stay close to Facebook, because we're going to have some.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's going to be a full weekend.
Yeah, there's going to be some broadcasts going on there.
Oh, my gosh,
It's
man.
gonna be a good time.
Yeah, it's going to stay glued to that. So I just thought that'd be an awesome, cool thing that we're going to do. It'll be the first Rodney Rogers Outdoors over the road, over the country, across the country trip. So
That'll be fun.
Mike, without further ado, you all done?
I think I am done.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think I'm through with you for tonight.
Well, good. I can't wait to get out of here.
It is such a good time, Rodney, and
All
this
right,
was
my
this was a
brother.
great show. Great
It was.
answers, and
I can't believe it's over.
hope everybody else found some useful tidbits in there. And
Can we go for another hour?
yeah, I don't know. I just
And
call
as my mama said 18 million times,
dibs on the giblets.
and I pray I get to say it half as much.
Am I wrong?
You kids get outside and stay.